Yeah, so this is the compressor we use, the power of the enforcer. It's a Husky. Those are the specs. Hey, what's up guys? Memo CMS Raul. So we're going to talk about the enforcer today. So far, we've used it to spray patches. I think I got a little bit too overzealous and thought I could spray this entire house. It's a couple of things. I decided to buy a 100-foot cord. You can see this. The compressor is all the way on the outside of the house. That way we don't hear anything, nice and quiet. But since it's so long, I feel like it's losing kind of the air the longer it stays open, the valve stays open. Right now the compressor's on, so you hear it just turned on. But anyways, it's being, there's air going through the machine right now. You can hear it right here in the gun. But what happens is, you start off nice. So, over here, zoom in over there. So you start off with a nice orange peel, but as I progressed, the texture started to fluctuate. So it started to get heavier because we're losing air. And you can't have that if you're trying to spray a lid this size. Show the ceiling. So this is a pretty big area. It's a kitchen, living room, hallway. So you need it to be consistent. But this is awesome for patches. I really liked it because you can see I'm walking around. If this place was finished, I could just set up my 100-foot cord outside like I just did, and I'm not tracking anything. There's no mud. Everything's enclosed. It stays nice and clean. And one of your hands is free, which is vital if you're spraying patches. If you don't want to mask everything, what I like to do is carry around a piece of cardboard. So for example, if I needed to, let's pretend this is a patch and I needed to spray it, but there was finished window here. I didn't want to go to the car, mask everything off. I'm going to carry a piece of cardboard with me or a shield, hold it flush, and with this hand spray it. So that's the main difference to me that makes this actually something that I would use and that we're going to use for patches where it's a house that has a lot of patches that are too big for my sprayer, that bug spray looking thing that we own. This comes in super handy. So it's actually advertised as for patches. It's not advertised to do entire jobs, you know. So me, I was just trying to push it to its limits to see what it's capable of, and it stays pressurized. So right now it's nice and quiet. Everything's on. All I got to do over here is turn on this switch. One of the cons though, if you can see, I'm reaching. I don't really know that this is on or off, but you kind of just got to get used to it, turn it on. And then, if you can hear, it's starting to get pressurized. So now all I got to do is turn on the air here on the gun. And you see how it starts off nice and small, but the longer it stays open, the bigger it gets. So if you're doing a patch, maybe about as big as this window, you're golden. Awesome, perfect. But if you're trying to do a whole ceiling, it's not going to work out. We thin down the mud, and it'll stay more consistent for longer, without long enough to spray an entire ceiling. Without having to pause, letting it recharge, letting the compressor build up again, and then going. But yeah, cons, it's portable. Pros, it's portable. A con is though that this thing weighs about as much as a green box because it fits about a box inside. So it fits a lot of mud, but that in return makes it weigh about 35, 40 pounds. So if you have back problems or if you're an older taper, you don't really want to buy into this because it can get kind of heavy. But I mean, I have 2 kids that are fairly young, so I have to carry them on my back all day. So this is nothing. And it's super portable. You can do whatever you want, you know. You don't have to worry about anything. The only cord that I have is this air cord, 100 feet long, so I can go anywhere. I don't have to stop or unplug. I can go back here. So if I was doing patches, it'd be great, but since we're not, this one doesn't work out too good. That I really like about this gun is that all the orifices are right here, so you're not going to lose anything. All you do is, and then switch it out like that. So that's perfect. I actually really like this gun, even though it's all plastic. It seems pretty durable, so we'll see how long that lasts. But if you wanted to pump it for patches rather than open up the back, you can take this off. It hooks directly to your hose. The hose hooks directly to this and the pump, and then you just pump it. So, you turn off this switch, which is a little hard to reach. Oh, another negative is if you're a big guy like me, it barely, this is a full extension, so it's kind of tight, but I mean, I just made the cut, thankfully. So, that goes off. You can buy a hook to place it on your belt. I forgot mine at home. And then to take it off, you just take it off like you would a backpack. And it pretty much just stands on its own. The only thing I added this right here. The reason I added that is since this comes off, whenever I want to carry this around or put it away, I can just grab it here. So I went home, I got the big rig update. If you're using the regular orifice, or we call it a nipple, I know it sounds funny, but the nipple, the regular one, it doesn't build up like the fan tip. The fan tip, for some reason, it tends to give that initial, and then in my previous video where I shot at the ground and then the ceiling, this one has a beautiful soft start, so I'm gonna get rid of that fan tip and just use a regular one. But you can see we sprayed a nice orange peel. I ended up having to. All right, guys. So we're gonna give this another shot. We emptied it out. We're gonna put Adrian right here is gonna pour it in so you can see how wet and loose it is. So hopefully it works out now that we thinned it out and we get to play around with it a little more. But it's a nice airtight. So as soon as the air gets connected, there's no power cord here, it's all air. So you just connect that one line into here. Turn your compressor, that's it. And then you just have this one switch to worry about, off or fill, spray. And then this is for the pressure. A cool feature that it has, safety feature that was actually activated in yesterday's video when we were playing around with it, is there's a safety release valve. So if for whatever reason, you see how nice and tight that locks? If for whatever reason there's too much air, it escapes through here. Yeah, so this can get kind of tricky. What you got to do is you open the air gun, or else it creates a suction. When you want to open it, you're going to have to pull this up and then kind of leverage with your thumb to twist. It's vital that you keep that clean, because if not, it becomes really hard to take off. So right now you kind of hear that suction. Yeah, but to put on, same thing. Just press it in and then you twist and lock the nuts. Okay. Okay, so we just tried it with the water down and the compressor with the shoreline, and I mean, it worked better, but to me it still fluctuates way too much to trust it 100% when it comes to light orange peel, which is pretty much what 90-95% of the houses we do is. So if we were to do like a heavy knockdown or a medium to heavy texture, then I think it would be a little bit easier to maneuver, a little bit easier to hide, since you don't need that nice mist. You can blend in stuff way easier the heavier you get with the compound. But you guys know. But so that being said, I highly recommend this for patches. So if you do a lot of patches, this is perfect for you. As you can see, everything's clean. The only reason it started to leak because I think we added way too much water. So either that or I don't think I tightened this hard enough, so it started to come out through the tip. But other than that, everything else stays relatively clean. And I mean, it's all in one, it's on your person, so it's easy to maneuver throughout a finished house. One thing that I would change though, or that would be a cool addition, I know you can hook this up to, it came with a hose similar to this that slides onto this, and then you can hook it up to your pump and pump to refill if you're doing a lot of patches. But if they could somehow be able to pressurize this a little better, to be able to get a little bit more consistency when it comes to the finer finish, that would be awesome. Like Enforcer 2.0 or something, you know, that. And it would be cool if this, instead of a hose, if they just made this tip, this screw-on tip right here with the cap. Marshalltown, if you're listening, if you made it similar to like the bazooka or the angle box, for it to just be able to be received right in there into the pump itself, and then you can just, you know, you just go like that. So you cut the middleman in a sense. You don't need a hose. This just goes straight in, and you're able to pump and fill the machine just with your pump, and then you could just screw it back on. Again, that's just an idea. I don't know how accessible or